What's up, everybody? It's waba, and I wanted to make a video talking about the impact and the effects of Essence League so far and what it potentially could mean. It's just something I've kind of been experiencing the past couple days, but I haven't been making any trades for any of my rare items that I usually would be trading at the start of the league because, at the start of the league, people need items. It's very natural, it makes sense. And a lot of the items that I'm, kind of referring to, and by the way, if you've been selling a lot of rare items, please let me know in the comments below, because I haven't been selling any, and usually I am. But a lot of the rare items that I'm referring to are usually like, good, just starting rare items, life, resist, etc., etc., etc. And I just haven't been selling them, and this is usually a big part of the way I generate my currency in the game. And this kind of makes me think about what Essence League is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the league that's making crafting great again, right? And someone had mentioned this before. It was Moors had talked about how the masters removed the need for people to buy like low tier items, essentially, because people could just fix their problems on their own, and masters being too accessible. And I could kind of see where he's coming from with that, and I agree to a point. However, I think the Essence League is the next step of that, because now not only can you mastercraft, you can guarantee a stat that you want on some key items. Now there are some exceptions to this, but the ones that I'm thinking of are like Essence of Woe. Essence of Woe essentially allows you to guarantee energy shield on an item, so you can make something for ES or CI, or a low life or CI build. And you only need 2 good rolls on it. And if you can guarantee one, that's a pretty big incentive to you just farming the essences or buying the essences. You could buy them too, and then roll in your own item. But the items that you could get out of it, because the rolls are so considerably high, they're pretty comparable, and you could get them for pretty cheap compared to how much those items would usually sell for. Like, for example, let's just look at my helm that I had crafted. Now, this took me 4 essences to craft, and I just wanted an ES helm to transition to low life, and essentially this helm cost me 8 chaos. Actually, I think 6 chaos, because I had one of my own screaming Essence of Woes. So the league is incentivizing players to craft their own items, but because of this, plenty of players are not trading items that they would usually trade. I've already started to clean out my stash tab for things. The only things I've been trading have really been uniques. But all this other stuff, this is all stuff that would usually sell pretty quickly, but they're not selling now. And this has kind of a couple of effects, I think. The funny one is that if the players have less of a reason to, especially in new leagues, if they have less of a reason to collect items, like low tier items to mid tier items, in order to sell them, because the game Path of Exile is a game based off of trading, then you know what they're going to need less of? They're going to need less stash tabs. Because as I was playing, as I normally do, I'm finding everything that I'm like, oh hey, this is pretty good, let me throw this in my stash tab. Let me put this, let me try to sell this right now. Let me throw it in the stash tab. But nothing's selling at all. In fact, I even got this stash tab over here where I crafted some items, and all of these are arguably good, but I have not gotten a single message for any of them. And again, it's because I think with essences, because the game is incentivizing people to use essences. So if I need less stash tabs, which I have a lot of stash tabs, Newer players are not going to need the stash tabs, and I mean that's potentially gonna hurt the things that fund Path of Exile. Not to say that this is necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it's things to think about. And then the other thing is, if we are unable to really sell these low tier items, like what's the point of even having them when essence crafting is so easily available? I don't know. It's just what I've been experiencing, and you know, I've been thinking about it the past couple of hours as I've been playing and as I've been mapping. The thing is, there are definitely other ways you could play where you could still generate currency. This is just one of the ways that I had generated currency always in the past. I would make smaller trades near the beginning of the league, and then all of a sudden, as you know, the league aged and I built up some, like a bankroll, I would start crafting my own items, and that's what I was doing with the crafting sessions. However, when you could pretty much get yourself an item that you want pretty quickly because you could determine the key role on it, you have little reason to do the traditional method of crafting, and you have little reason of buying it from someone else, because this helm would have cost me like 25 chaos probably, but I got it in 4 Screaming Essences of Woe, one of which I already had. So yeah, I wanted to bring this up and kind of see how you guys thought, or what you guys thought of it. Have you guys been getting trades? Has any player leave a comment down below. Have you been making a lot of rare trades? I'm not talking about essences. I'm not talking about divination cards. Like I said, there's still plenty of areas that you can generate currency. I'm going to be changing my playstyle to reflect that as well, and I will be making a video about that later. But I wanted to see everyone's initial thoughts on how trading is going in Essence League right now, because it seems kind of dead to me, at least in the realm of the mid-tier starting items. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you later. Peace out.